Arkansas News Service. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
In Africa, 5-year-old Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her must walk miles every day for dirty water. But together, we can end their water by providing clean water.
I don't see you on the stage.
Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can
It
be
said,
that expands their minds, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses caused by dirty water. At World Vision, care about clean water runs deep enough to reach one new person with clean water every 10 seconds. Because every child, every person, every wave deserves clean water and a chance to rise to their full potential. It's true. When you just add water, you change your life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday morning so far. Okay. I hope everybody's having a great, what was going on? I hope everybody's having a great Thursday morning so far. You heard the music, a little after 9 o'clock, so you know what time it is. It's time for the workplace. Man, every now and then just get discombobulated up in here. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you have stopped by to listen to the show this morning. Just want to remind everybody that we are in Players Drive, and here we do 4 Players Drives a year. Here's your opportunity to help continue the legacy of KABF 88.3. It's been around, going to our 41st year, and the sustainability of KABF has just really just been amazing. And it's because of you, the listening audience, through your pledges, through your donations, through your time, through your effort. And we just want to thank you for that. You can give 3 ways. You can go to www.kabf.org. You can also, and while you're there, when you click the donate button, become a sustaining monthly member of KABF. Your monthly contribution goes to the sustainability of KABF. Also, you can send a check money over to 2101 South Main Street here in Little Arkansas, 72206. Or you can stop by the station at that same address and give your pledge or donation that way in person. You can also call one of your favorite hosts at 501 4330 and give you plans. We'll call out program the Charles Ray at 501. One 4693. That's Thelma Pumphrey at 501-351-4693. The Arkansas State Claims Commission will hold hearings on May 1st and 2nd, 2025, beginning at 9 a.m. each day. All hearings will be conducted via Zoom. To obtain the Zoom invitation for either hearing, please contact Sabrina House at 501-682-1639. If there are questions, please contact the Commission's office at 501-682-1619. Bonnie Raitt live with special guest John Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentleman, May 7th, 2025, Little Rock, Arkansas, at Robinson Center. Tickets are available at BonnieRaitt.com. That's BonnieRaitt.com. Everyone deserves a chance to fly. Therapeutic Recreation Arts Festival. This is a free festival. It's going to be Friday, May 2nd, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Helping to enrich the quality of life for people with disabilities by encouraging creativity through the arts. Hands-on activity booths, make it and take it crafts, a magician, and a dance contest, plus many, many more activities. Food, drinks, and arts festival t-shirts will be sold. For more information, call 501-570-1131. #501 Fest 2025. Live music, DJs, vendors, apparel, art, and accessories. Handmade goods, food, music, fun, and family. Vintage apparel, decor, food trucks, kid zone, Batman ride, rock climbing, laser tag, blow up house, and more. Adult zone for food and beverages. This will take place downtown at the River Market District, 400 President Clinton Avenue. It would be Friday from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday from 11 to 6 p.m. This is on the 1st and 2nd of the 2nd and 3rd of May. For more information, visit 501festival.com. 501 www.501festival.com. And the last announcement is meet us at City Hall. Mobile City Hall will be May 5th, 2025 at St. Mark Baptist Church at 5722 West 12th Street. Or obtain or file police reports, pay district court fines, pay business license fees, apply for a municipal ID, apply for city jobs with qualified applicants participating in instant interviews, apply for building permits, learn more about grant opportunities like down payment assistance and neighborhood challenge. And there is no information to contact anyone. But as I said, this will take place at St. Mark's Baptist Church, 5722 West 12th Street on May 5th. As we get more information, we will inform you. Oh, that was a lot of announcements this morning. So, this week, over the past, let me back up. A couple of months ago, fall 24, United Labor Union's Local 100, which underwriter of the workplace, we were contacted by the Little Rock city employees of Little Rock, the city of Little Rock, who wanted us to represent them, wanted United Labor Unions to represent them, and they wanted to get away from that the former bargaining agent. So once we got all that straightened out, over the past couple of months, we have been in contract negotiations. And one of the things that have came up, there's one word that constantly comes up, is value. Value. And I really didn't think much about it, because we try to get the best value for our members, whatever contract we do, in the 4 states that we represent, workers. But the other day, I was watching the news, and one of the comments that was made by this news anchor was that he said, he looked at it 2 ways. He said, for the people who approve of what this administration is doing, they're getting their values worth. That this, that they believe that what's going on is valuable to them. And the other side was that people who don't agree with this administration they're not getting the value of who they believe they are and the services they need. And it got me to thinking about the contracts we do and how we do these contracts and how we negotiate, but basically we negotiate around value. What I want to ask you, the listening audience, this morning, what, and I'm trying to say it the right way, I don't want to get it misconstrued. Whether you're voting, whether you are, when you look at whether it's tariffs, whether you look at economics, or however you're looking at it, what do you believe? What do you believe is valuable? What do you believe is most valuable? I know a lot of people, when they go in to vote, they say, well, my value is in the economics. Some people go and say, my value is in my white privilege. My value is in this. That's why I'm placing my value, and that's what I believe is the most valuable thing. But what happens, I think, a lot of times, as things start to play out, you start to switch, or you start to look at a different, your value system starts to be in question, and you can do one or two things. And it's just my opinion. You can do one or two things. You can stand 10 toes down on what you believe your value is, or what you believe your value system is, or you can start to look and say, you know what, maybe I need to look at this differently. And I think that's what's happening. Not only in, when you look at employees, federal employees being fired, you look at state employees being downsized, you start to look at all this, you start looking at services, and then you have to figure out, when I voted, or did I vote for this? Is this the value that I voted for? Is this my idea of value? Or when you're asking people to resist, to stand up and resist, what are you resisting? Are you resisting based on, what is your value that pushes you to resist? What is it that you are saying is most valuable to you, and that's why you have to resist? It may be that, there may be none, but I'm asking the question because I want to find out more. I want to open myself up to hear what other people think their value is, what their value system is, because I think that's so important as we move forward as people. How can, if you can understand somebody else's value, maybe you can understand how some of the things are playing out. What do you think, Denise?
Well, first let me get this comment from Lo. He says, sure, a lot of negative value when they are cutting their own throats. Sure, a lot of negative value when they are cutting their own throats. I don't know if you want to say something like that.
No.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure that I'm following what you're asking. Are you asking me? You said, what is my value system as it relates to what this administration is doing? I'm not really sure I'm following. So I'm gonna wait until I hear some more people comment, because I'm not sure I know what you're asking me. Like, what is my value system in the face of?
So, okay. So let me say this. Let me put it this way. Maybe this will help, and maybe this will help other listeners. So, I place it, and I have not made this. I've made this known on numerous shows and numerous times. My value system is placed in humans. I want. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that. I'm a humanistic person. I think that's the best way for me to say it. I believe that all humans are valuable, and that everything that I try to do is based on the value of human beings. Going back to this contract, the minute I looked at the contract, I saw that there are some things that devalue, the workers. It devalues them. And so I'm working to give these, for management to value that employee, or to value these employees. Does it always happen? No. Is there going to be a pushback? Yes. Is there going to be a fight? Yes. But you have to me, this is me, you have to fight for that human value. And I think what is happening is, as people are voting, or people are deciding, or people are, choosing one side or another, I think they're losing out on the value of humans, and looking at the value of their agenda, or the value of what they want, or what they believe is valuable, but it's taken away, it's devaluing humans, or people, if you want to put it that way. And so that's basically the question that I'm asking, or basically the conversation I want to have this
Well, I don't know if very many people are going to argue that humans are not valuable. Like I don't really think you're going to get much pushback to that. I really can't see how that would be the case. But I don't place my value in what the government is going to do for me. I don't place my value in what any expectations of politicians or anything like that. My value is in being self-sustainable as a human and being independent as a human and making sure that I am living outside of these systems because these systems continue to show us that the system itself does not value life and it definitely does not value my Black life. So the last thing that I'm going to do is wait for them or expect them or put my hope of faith and trust in them to value me because they keep proving to you that they don't.
Calling you on there. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I would like to say, first of all, as I have got older and more conscious, I guess, of life, I find that my most important value is being in oneness with myself and my source of my being. That's my moral value. Now, I don't try to persuade nobody. I'm not dependent on the government or anything to fix the problem with another problem, because that's all it happens. Some of the things on the planet have been more detrimental to people. You got religious government, and capitalism is one of the worst. When you look into the word of capitalism, you tell you a lot of things. But it also tells you about the last thing, it's a form of prostitution. We are being, as people, are being played on and abused. Once you become oneness with yourself, once with your divinity of yourself, a lot of your problems will go away. But this system's not going to really teach you that. They can always teach you that something's wrong with you, and we can fix it for you. But it never, the side effects of them fixing it is worse than the road in the problem. And that's all I have to say about it, brother.
Okay.
So here's Lo. Lo says, if you have done this to the least of these, you have done it to me. This is a precept place obtain an individual's way of living.
And like I said, this is just a conversation, you know, and so as we're looking at this, so does that mean that as one caller said, as oneness with yourself, as you become self-sustainable, that if you do these things, that you're looking past, that the system isn't doing anything for me, I'm looking past the system, and I want to be self-sustainable, I want to be as much away from this system as I can, then do you still fight against the system? Do you still advocate? Do you still look at the value of humans who are still in that system and trying to change that system? Do you still value them, or do you just say, hey, they caught up in the system, I'm just through it?
Well, okay, it sounds like you're asking me about what I said, and I never said anything about. Let me just finish. I never said anything about dismissing or devaluing people who are still in the system. You asked about my personal value system, and I said that for me, this is what I'm going to do. Now, I think that it is a waste of time and a waste of energy to continue to fight against something that you cannot win with the tools that you are using. And until you change the tools you are using, you are not going to make a dent in this system. So no, I'm not trying to fight with y'all. I'm not trying to offer myself. I'm trying to work with people who are willing to be free from the systems, because we're going to use different tools to create a different reality that serves us. So it's not that I don't value you. I just think that your work is futile.
And so I wasn't aiming the question directly at you. I was taking from what the caller said, what Lo said, and trying to group it into one statement. Um, I, I was talking to Jesse this morning, and we were talking about when you look at how things are being played out and how things are being looked at, and so we understand there is this, the system. The only thing the system values is what it can get out of each individual person, what it can get out economically, what it can get out oppressively, what it can get out of people. And so, because people are the ones that are facilitating this system, they're the ones who keep pushing for this system. The question becomes is, when does a moment come where, and you're starting to see a little bit of it now, where people who voted for this current administration are now starting to look back and say, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this shouldn't have been. Maybe I should have went in another direction. Maybe I should have done something differently, because this system that I believe was going to be beneficial to me isn't. And going back to what I was talking about with this contract, for so many years, this contract that was previous before us, people just kept voting for this contract, until finally they realized that this contract does not benefit us. This contract does not value us. So I'm going to do something to change it. And I think that's a point I'm trying to make is, if resistance is always futile, then no matter what, there's going to be people who's going to say, I'm just going to give up because it's not going to change. But it can change. It can change. You may have to tear it completely down, but it can change.
Again, I did not say that
I'm not
resistance is
saying.
all. You keep talking, and then when it's my turn, you want to interrupt me. You said if resistance is always futile, and those are my words. And I did not say that resistance is always futile. I said the tools that are being used currently to resist are futile. That's what I said. So let me just make sure I'm clear on my end on what I am saying. And so you're asking people like about fighting in the current system, and the current system does not serve you. And until you dismantle the system, whatever you do is not going to work. And we keep saying that over and over and over and over again. And I've said this before on the show, on many shows. I've said, listen, those of you who do not vote, or those of you who vote against your own interests, when you realize that you were wrong, don't call me and complain. I've said that before. So all the people now that are so upset that they voted for this administration, I'm not making room for them, because we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. We tried to show you. We gave you data. We gave you statistics. We told you stories. We did all of this, and you chose to vote against your own interests. So do I feel sorry for you? Absolutely not. Am I going to try to fight for you? Absolutely not.
Not that I do. I am in line with you on that, because so many people, so many organizations have reached out to me to, hey, we need you to come here. Would you mind coming here? Do you, will you come to, to this place and speak, and rally people and all this? And I said no, because at the end of the day, that was your choice. That's what you place your value in. So if you place your value in that, then sometimes you have to deal with your choices. And I think that's part of the conversation that I'm having this morning, because there are times, even when people realize they made a mistake. But did they make a mistake, or did the agenda not play out the way they wanted to do? Because your values still may be the same. It's and I think me and you have had this conversation before, Denise, that the system in itself does not care. Let me take this call first. Call you in there.
Yes. How you today?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I've listened to your comments and everything like that. I just want to make a quick comment if I could.
Yes.
I don't agree with any of that. And the reason why is because when you have an economic system, and I want to say black people for right now, we are more focused on entertainment than we are economics. Very few people know who the Federation, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank is. But the kids who the quarterback is going to play for the Patriots, for the NFL, they see all those things like that. They can't tell you who's having their money. And I do agree with some of the things that President Trump is doing, because all he's doing is artists in the book. He's saying these people have been up here for all these years. Where is his money? He got the richest man in the world to come in and say, let's check y'all books. I have a company, I have a real estate company I've been having for 27 years. We audit the books all the time. If the money is not there, we want to know where it is. China, Mexico, and Canada, $8 trillion, $700 billion every year goes to these countries, and all we do is treatment. So he's saying this be put the money back into the American hands. Let's open up our own factories, our own grocery stores, supermarkets, our own hospitals. He said, yeah, this money's been going out of the country for years. He's a billionaire. His whole staff are billionaires. So maybe we should take something from their playbook. Because where is that money going? Social Security, they got people that they said been dead for years just to get Social Security. That's why we got people that on Social Security and not get much money because it's going somewhere else. So I don't see anything wrong with all these people to find out where the money is. I own a business, and we have to every now and then cut back on the things. At the beginning, it's a real hard. But once you look at what he's doing and the business is doing, all they doing is saying, where is all this money going? You got 70,000 that's not doing anything. We fire them. Get a check. No. So that's all I'm saying. And I agree that some things may be a little, whatever we want to say, but tariff, whatever you call them, all I'm saying is, you charge me 25 to 6 goods over there, you're going to charge me 25. You stop charging me, I'll stop charging you. I don't think that's wrong with that. He said, you want to send us avocados from Mexico, and we give you all this money to grow your own avocado. Trying to send us cell phones and iPads and different things like that. We can, and I know what you mean, but those things are, you don't even have to need that stuff. Paris sent us steel. We can have our own steel company. That's all he's saying. Let's look at home first before we spend out so much money across these nations and do all these people out ourselves. That's all he's saying.
Okay. Well, thank you, caller.
Let me get this comment in from Lo. He says, there are societal values versus individual values. there will be conflicts between the two, and it is up to each individual as to how he or she will maneuver against the two.
Let me, caller, just hold on 1 second. Let me get, I do want to comment while it's fresh in my mind.
We're gonna lose the caller.
Before the last caller called in, and I was in the process of talking about the system. The system. The system is designed, and when I say the system, I'm talking about all this, all the systems that are pushed into the system, whether it's economics, religion, capitalism, racism, all of it is the system. The system by design is to oppress. The system by design is to facilitate the bottom being at the bottom, and some at the bottom even worse than being at the bottom, and the people at the top benefiting. I don't have a problem when the caller said that, hey, he just coming in auditing the books. I don't have a problem with books being audited. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that all these administrations, it does not matter, Republican, Democrat, for all this time, this is what they have been doing, operating in this system. Now, all of a sudden, you say that he's coming in and he's just checking the books. He just made, well, number one, that's the job of Congress. They are the auditors of the books. You don't call somebody in who's going to benefit from auditing the books. And that's what Elon Musk is doing. He's benefiting from this audit. Another thing that's happening is that when you fire all of these people, you don't make government more efficient, you make it more difficult. Another thing that happens is that it plays out, because as all this is happening and people are celebrating, guess who's going to catch the worst end of it? Now, Solar Bean said something, quite often. He said collateral damage. It's going to be some collateral damage, but the damage that's going to be done to Black people, brown people, women, LGBTQ, the damage to them will last for generations. So that's the issue. So when I talk about value of the human existence, so you can value this person who's running the system, who's operating the system, who's doing this, that devalues the human beings, and then you celebrate the person who's doing this. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But it's like I said, I wanted to have this conversation because I just wanted to hear what the different things, the different ideas, the different opinions people have. Caller, you on the air?
Yeah, one quick thing I like to say. I really agree with you about all these systems. But see, the systems have been, I'm going to use the example about what they call the Cowboy family. The people were united because they really is an example of wanting to be in harmony with the Creator. So now here, so let's say, we got to divide their language and divide the people. The same system is used today. These people spend 24 hours a day around the clock begging on how to stay in power. And people out here today really think they are thoughts like their own thoughts. They are not. They are being programmed to do a certain way, to buy a certain thing. Hell, commercial 24 hours a day, and we are running it. That's a programming that we in. And till you become conscious, people are not content like they plan like they content. They're not content. And so the longing after people will produce another way better than this way. Nothing coming out the sky to change the world. This is a people never change things. Change their conscious thinking and go another way. You can't repent of nothing and keep doing it the same way. You change depending on something that you know fact is not working for you, but you can't say, hey, I think we need to come together and do something different than this. That don't make no sense to me.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
It-
Let me get this comment in from Lo, who is responding to the previous caller. To that caller, that goes to the lack of education. In addition, Trump has not saved the government one iota of a cent in the budget. And why would you listen to an individual that has 6 bankruptcies, losing money at a casino, and not paying his employees? You would rather listen to a snake oil salesman than do your own research. China has a population of over 1 billion, while the US only has 350 million. People, use some of that gray matter up there.
And so, Denise, I want to make a comment on something you said because it rings true. So, one thing about this caller before he talked about the trade imbalance, and I want people to know. Brain, where he puts his name on these different apparels, these different items, it may say made in the US, like it's Trumpy Bear and it's Trumpy Trout or whatever. 90% of his brand is manufactured overseas. It's made overseas. One of the reasons he's going back and forth, one of the reasons he keeps talking about deals is that he wants these countries where he's manufactured, where his brand is being manufactured, the companies, he want to make a deal with these countries, these countries, so that his cost goes down. But the point I want to make about what you said, Denise, some of these countries, like Canada, like China, like the UK, and the European Union, what they have decided, we getting out of it. You made a great example. China has over a billion people. They're like, hey, we're gonna take care of ourselves. Canada's already told the US, we don't need to. You need us. We need you. So we don't have to deal with you. And I think that's one of the things that has to be considered on so many levels. Are we willing to call you on there?
Yes, this is Brother Poe being here. Some very good points made this morning. But I was wondering do you think that this is a real reset? pretty sure when we say shadow government, and they're putting it right in our face and educating us on YouTube every time they talk about who really runs the country. When you got the brother explained about the 13 different families, with the Rothschilds and all the different armies that they have, I think when we come to patriotism, their biggest deal is to keep us confused. But I still think we all still owe our allegiance to the production of justice. Now, anything that's put together can be taken apart. And this system of white supremacy and racism has been put together and running way, way, way too long. So I'm pretty sure this being the information age, we're going to figure out ways, and when we talk about codifying, if they have a racist code, I'm pretty sure as smart as we are, we can come up with a counter-racist code. I was kind of piggyback on what you were saying before I called, but anyway, I just want to say we all have a duty. And currently, at this moment, because like I said, with the shadow government in place, and I'm pretty sure Trump is just an instrument. He's a puppet, just like all the rest of the puppets down today. But their biggest deal now is a white sacrifice. That's what I was trying to remember. That's their biggest deal. How are they going to figure out to make the white sacrifice go over easily with all the different people? They start off with a war that's supposed to last 3 or 4 days, coming up with peace that lasts over 2 or 3 years. Same way with both the wars. But they're going to figure out a way to have more white sacrifices, people losing their jobs and all their different benefits and all that. And when they can come up with that smoothly, then they're going to figure out how a way to deal with the people of color. And by that time, we'll be way too smart for them, come up with our code and out for negligence. In other words, peace and love to all. Have a great day.
So Lo was just talking about something that you said about Donald Trump's brand, and he said, state the facts. Yes, that mess, that MAGA stuff is made in China.
Calling you there.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Sister Denise, Brother Toney, those on the web, and of course those listening.
Morning, Ezekiel.
Good morning, man.
Call not too long ago when a gentleman called and, so expressed a desire, if you will, to give the president, commander-in-chief, an opportunity to do his thing because he was okay with a billionaire. That's so simple, but I won't expound on that too much. You got in place a felon, a convicted felon. Now, explain that to your listeners in depth. Don't shy away from that. Explain that in depth. Last caller talked about justice, but justice in America is like a fantasy. It's almost like, and I hate to call a name, a Kyle Perry movie or something like that. It's strictly fantasy, and no reality to it as far as logical justice. It's not the justice of good versus evil. It's a justice that's put in place to strengthen, expand, and perpetrate the desires of the empire. We got a felon calling the shots. It's so it seems. When we all know that before me mentioned, they got the Rothschilds and the different families, the DuPonts, they got more chemicals. People die from chemical warfare than they have from bombs. No one ever says anything about that. Entire villages are wiped out because of chemical spills and this and that to get out away from the people who were using it or experimenting with it. Just look at the Paul India. It didn't happen in a a European country, but it's sure it happened in one of those darker parts of the world. So man, just look at what both are India. And if you think it's not serious. But to have a felon telling somebody what to do, you can't even get a job in the United States government if you're a felon. You're a workman, Tony, you have to fight for folks' jobs and what have you. Think about that and expound on that to the people that are listening, because we've got a pretty good audience today, because folks are fed up, if you will, with what's going on. You've got jobs that are being taken away from folks all day, every day. I mean, I get tired of it. I used to say, you know, I said, what's a 401k? I don't know anything about a 401k. They used to have folks that had retirement plans until some brilliant person came up with an idea how to screw them. And then all of a sudden they made all the people that work for the company not essential, all the janitors, all the people that cooked, all the people that did everything, the maintenance people got the same retirement benefits as the one at the top. If they did away with that, all this happened over a period of a few decades. It's not the same. Nothing is saying nothing else up except the exploitation and the oppression of those of us who were brought here to serve the will of those of the empire. Now that's maintained, that's kept going over 200 and something years, right, 300 years. So think about that. And with that, I'll get off there. It's been 1776. That's how old this country is. And ever since it's been a country, they have had laws and rules in place to keep us down and to keep us dissatisfied with whatever the outcome is and keep us confused, like the word was that the gentleman was looking for the other day. And finally, the confusion that we have right now that is so abundantly clear that you can't come up with an answer because no one even knows what's going on. And with that, I'll get off there and wish you all the best and keep up the good work and exposing what's going on. Thank you.
I think
Thanks,
it's,
man.
I think it's pertinent for us to say that, for me to say this. Let's go back. Do you remember when we had manufacturing jobs here? Do you remember when we were making our own stuff here? The powers that be decided to close down factories, to stop production in America so that they could send it overseas so that they could make more money because they got cheap labor. So the idea that President Donald Trump is doing the best thing for us by bringing manufacturing jobs back is something that we should not even believe on any level. There's a phrase that people say all the time, follow the money. Follow the money. Everything that he is doing is about making money for him and his cronies and his colleagues, all of the people that he's a puppet for. This is not about you at all. And most of the people who are in favor of what Trump is doing, they're doing it from the business perspective, because this gentleman that called in is a businessman. And most of the people, and I know every Black person that I know who voted for him because of the business ideal of it. And you may get a couple of dollars, but compared to what he's going to get, you are absolutely still being used.
Yeah, and that's why it's they're trying to water down information. They're trying to bully and intimidate news, legitimate news companies and newspapers to propagandize what they want you to hear. But when you look at economists and you look at business leaders, there's not one Fortune 500 company that's based here in America is sitting around doing stuff like this, but he's still making money. Why? Because you got to go to work. And so we have to understand those things. And until we understand all of this, we're gonna stay. And it's going to be difficult going back to the basis of the original question I asked about values, about value. Until we realize that it's difficult to value another human being. And when we talk about this country, I think in a lawyer's term, what was it, Denise, when you illegally get evidence, they say you got to throw all of it out because it's the fruit of the poisonous tree.
Fruit of the poison, yes.
Everything where we are right now is the fruit of a poisonous tree. When they hit the shores of this country, they became felons. So it's no big deal that we talk about Donald Trump as a felon. All the rest of them was felons too, because they stole land. They stole land, then they turned around and stole and murdered people, and then they say we should be proud to make America great again. Any last words? I got speechless on that.
Well, Lo was responding to something when I was talking about the Black people who I know voted for Trump because of the business ideals that they believe that he purports. He says those Black folks got sold a bill of goods. I just want to say that if we are going to live in a world that is more just, that is more equitable, that is more inclusive, that is more peaceful, we are going to have to learn how to live and love differently. So as long as we continue to do what we're doing, the same thing over and over again, expecting something different to happen, that is the generalized definition of insanity. And many of us are walking around here asleep and insane.
Okay, so I thank all of you for listening this morning. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the engagement. Like I said, just a conversation this morning. Just wanted to get people's opinions on things, and so I'm glad for all the different engagement this morning on the calls and on social media. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. See you Monday from 4 to 5 for Down with Debt next Tuesday, 9 to 10 for Community Voices, and next Thursday for the workplace from 9 to 10 a.m. All right, peace.